Okay, for Wednesday of this week, the due date is April 22nd, or the suggested due date. There really aren't any new notes because this is the algebra level in Khan Academy of exponential properties. So the lesson is called Exponential Property Review. Again, you used your notes that we had last week, and there are 2 videos and 3 practice sets for you to take a look at. And these are examples taken from those practice sets that I think will help you do all of the examples, all of the practice. All right, let's get started. So we are multiplying. The bases are the same. And when we multiply with exponents, we add the exponents. So I'm going to use a pen that works. So I've got 9 to the negative 3 plus 12. So negative 3 plus 12, if I don't know that, I have a calculator, but that's 9. So my answer is 9 to the power of 9. B. Again, we are multiplying, and so we add the exponents. So I have a to the 5 plus a negative 3, which I like to rewrite as a to the 5 take away, or minus 3. So that's a squared. When you're doing these practice sets, you should have some scratch paper too and your notes so you can write stuff down. All right, C. We divide. So when we divide with exponents, we subtract the exponents. So minus 12. So that's going to be 9 to the negative 15. Negative 3, take away 12, is a negative 15. And there might be the odd chance that I make a mistake on these. So make sure you can check or let me know if I'm making mistakes. Okay, again, division means subtract the exponents. 7, take away a negative 14. Oh, a negative minus a negative is really or take away a negative is really a positive. So that's z to the 21st. Oh, sorry. All right, so for E, F, and G, it says select the equivalent expression. So let's try, let me get this camera adjusted a little bit. My tripod on my son's crane. All right, so there's a bunch of different ways to do this. For these bases aren't the same, so I cannot combine the 9 and the 7. I cannot combine the bases, and as you see, they're all not combined either. But let's see what I do have. So if I take a power to another power, I multiply. So again, you're taking a power to another power, so we multiply. So 9 and 6 times the negative 4 is negative 24. And then 7, I'll do that in a different color. So we've got negative 9 times a negative 4. And a negative times a negative is a positive. So that's got to be 36. Oh, get this pen out of here. All right, so let's look at our options. This one is kind of the opposite of what we see, and it's not, you know, if it was in the denominator, it would be correct, because if we moved that, then we'd be right. So I don't like this one. This one, again, it has a positive 24, but I've really got a negative 24. And it moved the 7 to the negative, but then that would flip this sign. So that doesn't work. So let's take a look at this. Well, so I'm comparing it to my expression that I got, and then 7 to the positive 36. And so what they did was they put the 9 below, or the 9 in the numerator. And as we learned last week, whenever you do that, it flips the sign of the exponent. So remember it's always over 1. So if I move this whole thing to the denominator, or the bottom of the fraction, we keep the 7, we keep the 9, and the sign flips. So it goes from negative to positive. So I'm going to select C. Let's look at the next one. So we've got 2 to the negative 4th, z to the negative 3rd to the 5th. So I'm going to do exactly what I did to the one before. We've got a power to a power, so I'm going to multiply. Just figure this out. So I've got a power to another power. My bases I can't combine because they're not the same. So negative 4 times 5 is a negative 20. And then we have negative 3 to 5. Negative 3 times 5 is negative 15. Okay, so I look right here and the 2 went away and it was z. I think that that's as if we added those, right? If we added those, it'd be a positive 1. But it's a power to a power, so we multiply. So this is not right. This is the same thing, except they're positive, and that's not true. No, thank you. So then we're left with this one. And so I like that one because I know if I flip these, remember everything's over 1. And if I just move everything I see to the denominator, that's with negative exponents. That's with the assignment that was due on Friday, or the suggested due date on Friday. Everything flips. So I've now got, I guess I'll rewrite it, but I see this. So I move the, I mean, it's right here. So I move that to the bottom, 20 to the positive 20. I moved the z to the bottom, negative 15th. And there's nothing on top, but remember, there's always something. If it was a 0, then everything would be 0. That can't be. So it's definitely a 1, which is this one. Oh, I'm sorry. This is a negative, so then it flips. I forgot to do that. So my choice is C again. All right, Khan Academy. Okay, G. So with G, I'm gonna take a power to a power, and even though it's division, I can't subtract these because it's B and a 4, so those don't match. So let's do the 7 to a negative 3. So B to the negative 21 all over. And then different color, 5 to the negative 3. So that's going to be a negative again. So 4 bases stay, and 5 times the negative 3 is negative 15. So what I assume right here is that what they've done on both of these before is they've just got rid of the negative exponents, which I like best. I like when people tell us to get rid of the negative exponents because I don't like negative exponents, and we can just move them from the numerator to the denominator or vice versa. So what they did right here, and that's going to be your answer, is they flipped them, because if I move this one to the top, it's going to change the negative 15 to a positive, and if I move this one to the bottom, it's going to change this one. These don't change because if this would be a positive 15 if I brought that to the top, and this doesn't work because it's just the positive numbers, and they were negative because when I multiply I get negative answers, so that one doesn't work. All right, 3 more. And again, these are really designed to help you, so that's why I do them. All right, let's do H. So with this one, they say choose 2, and I really like that Khan Academy tells you how many to choose. I don't know if they'll do that forever. Maybe as they get harder, they won't do that, but I like to know that I've got two things that I have to choose. So if I am reducing this, I divide with exponents, so I subtract. So I've got 4 to the negative 3 minus a negative 1, which is 4 to the negative 3 plus 1, which is 4 to the negative 2. So right away, I'm drawn to this one because if I move this to the denominator, the sign's going to flip. So I'm going to choose that one. And then if I look at this one, when we multiply with exponents, we add them. So this would be 4 to the 3 plus 1, which is 4 to the 4. So this one doesn't look good. And we multiply when its powers to a power, so that's a positive 3. Negative 1 times a negative 3 is a positive 3, so I don't like that one. So then I've got this one. And again, if I bring this to the top, I subtract, sorry. So it's 4 to the 1 to the negative 3, and 1 minus 3 is a negative 2. So those are my two selections. I have to have scratch paper. Next one. When we multiply with exponents, we add the exponents. So this is going to be 5 to the 20. So what else looks like 5 to the 20? Well, if I look at this one, right, so I don't like the 25s because they just freak me out and I don't want to deal with that right now. So when you take a power to another power, we multiply. 5 times 4 is 20. So that's definitely 1. And then let's just do the inside. So when we multiply with exponents, we add the exponents. So 3 plus 2 is 5. And then a power to another power, we multiply. 5 times 4 is 20. So it was those two. The 25 kind of freaked me out. How could I change that? So I didn't have to worry about that ultimately. Okay, this is one of the ones where they made a mistake. When did they make a mistake? And again, Khan Academy says choose one answer. So he, you know, depending on what happens, he made one mistake. So if we look at step 1, they must have done combine what's inside. So when you multiply with exponents, you add them. So it's going to be 4 negative 2 plus negative 3, still to the 3. So that's going to be 4 negative 2, take away 3 more is negative 5 to the 3. So that works. I like that. Okay. Then we do a power to a power. Oh, power to a power. You know, exponent and an exponent, we multiply. So this should be 4 to the negative 15. Sorry. And they added instead of multiplying, but that's not right. So it's definitely step 2. And then they simplified this, but since they already made the wrong mistake, they did from here to here, they technically did it correctly because these two are equivalent expressions, but these two are not. So the answer would be step 2. That's it. You should be able to do, again, this is due Wednesday, exponential property review. There's 2 videos that you can watch and 3 practice sets. You should have this and your notes from last week on exponential properties with you when you do it.